This is the first recording I did for a combo, and it's not also a video for you, it's also a video for me, because it's really hard just by looking at this combo to copy it exactly. So the only way to really copy this kind of combo is to make a video and show how I did from start to finish. And for me, this kind of abstraction is kind of a way to get rid of main concepts on Lanyards and to be really free and do whatever you want. So this is going to be a first one. I'll make a few more to show you that each time I create this kind of combos, it turns out really differently. You don't need to copy exactly what I did. Also, you can just look at some sections and try to learn from it and have fun. I have here a 2B1 and well, first I think just we can make a simple twist stitch. So yeah, start a 2B1 and I'll create a twist and we'll see what's next on the list of doing stuff. So this is kind of interesting. So maybe I'll just do like this, yeah. I'll leave it like that. Let's see what happens. So I want to leave this loop here that came out just by coincidence. That's what I mean by having this kind of lanyards. It's everything by chance usually. So I want to get this loop. Say I'll take a green string and put inside this loop. So see, from the beginning I have already something which is interesting. I have no clue what's gonna happen. Well, why not? And yeah, now I'll create, there is a really interesting stitch called inverse chevron, which starts with the center strings, these two. You go diagonally, so this goes to the left here and green goes to the right, and then you just weave with other strings. So from top to bottom. This is a stitch that I haven't shown. It's the final 2x1 stitch that I haven't shown on my YouTube channel. And well, you don't need to do it. You can create any other stitch you want. I just pick some random stitch and I create something. And well, once you've done this stitch, I'll insert the final string, and that's gonna be a blue one. I'll find the center. So, well, my main point is don't just add it for the center like normally. Do something different. Say, I can take this, go here, say. I really just making things up. I don't really know what I'm doing right now. So do things that you think will seem cool. What's I can do with that? I'll just, let's see what happens. I can just make a overhand knot with this blue string. I think what's gonna do. Yeah, overhand knots are really useful in this particular style because it's the easiest stitch, the easiest knot to do, and the main point usually is to just attach things to your stitch, and the easiest way to attach things is overhand knot. The next one will be a box stitch to attach. So yeah, I have here a string. You can see I've added a string, and you can see that I haven't added like you do usually, and for the center and do usual stuff. I just added something over here, and now I can create a 3x1, but then it's gonna be kind of boring. But well, I can do a 3x1. Yeah, I'll make one of 3x1, and then yeah, this can be a twist stitch, a corkscrew stitch, I guess. I don't even think, like, I just, again, I don't think while doing it, I'm just making some stitch by coincidence, and this one came up, a twist came in mind, so I'll just make a twist, a corkscrew. So yeah, I think to really finish a corkscrew it will be kind of boring, so I'll intentionally do move a string here instead. So this is a way also to get out from your usual stuff. Don't do something that is you already know. Do things that you don't know, which is always makes things cool. Yeah. Weird combo. I don't know what's gonna happen, so it's gonna continue. I think it will be interesting to have now a 2x1 stitch over here on this side. So I'll create a 2x1 stitch, say with these strings, and somehow I don't really know which kind of 2x1 stitch I'll make, but so I can take this turquoise, this blue, and then I can take this blue like this. Because I want now to use the green. You see, you have here a blue and gray here. I want to have a green and gray over here to have contrasting this side here. So I think I can play with now with gray and green strings. So there's a really interesting stitch we can do. Stitch, I don't know if you can call it a stitch, but it's involved first doing a, excuse me, you start with a regular butterfly stitch, and then you just insert. You end the you just end the butterfly stitch, and it creates a triangle. So just a simple stuff, and you continue just doing the same idea, and you get triangles. Once you do that, you get these triangles, and it gets pretty interesting. So I think 2 triangles will be enough, and now we can continue. I can just make now a simple break stitch, but I'll do my shtick. Obviously, I'm not planning to make anything easy. So instead of taking this gray here, I'll just put it from here, violating many principles, because now this gray goes here, which if I teach beginners, I'll say this is a mistake, but now I'm a beginner myself, and I like to do like this. Okay, look how just 11 minutes we're into territories that I don't have a clue what's going on here, which is great, because yeah, since January I always get excited using Lanyard, because each time I make something I don't have a clue what's going on. Okay, now I can combine the gray and green to this section here. We can do it, I think, like this. Overhand knots are usually the best way to connect things. So I'm just gonna do an overhand knot here, and another overhand knot. I'll do 2 or 3 just to connect this side. And now I'll do the overhand knot over here also, with the gray and the green. Good. So what's happened to us? We got this. And well, we can continue. Can continue with the same idea. What can I do to make it more interesting? I think we can also, instead of, so we had a gray, a silver and blue part, silver and green parts, and finally we haven't done a silver and turquoise part, so we can do that, but we can't do it immediately, because it'll be too much confusing. So I can make, say I can move a few parts. I can say do a triangle here, just to to have, let's see, 1 second. Okay, have a triangle, and I want to use, say, this turquoise and this gray. So to create this create these triangles with the turquoise and gray. So I want to make sure this green is not alone. So what you can do, I can make some overhand knots here. Like this. So I'll make 2 or 3 overhand knots on the same string. You don't even have to make it perfectly straight. You can make it like this. And I have it, you can see I can move it here. And now I can say I can connect the green string with this turquoise. So my main goal is to have it to be 1 stitch with all the strings except these 2 strings. So now I have all these strings close to each other, and I can kind of create it to be 1 stitch with these strings. So I'll do that. It can be any 2 by 1 stitch you want. So here I'm just gonna make a twist. So final string is this green, so I need to go around. I'll go around. Excuse me. So this green needs to go over here. The main point. So somehow I created a 2 by 1 stitch. And okay. Okay, now this section you can I don't want to waste your time, so yeah, I want again to teach you as much as possible stuff. So I can create now say just break stitches, but each time I can say take this turquoise string, create a loop, create a knot, and say I can do this for the entire break stitches. So say I'll take this, do over a knot here, next I can do over a knot here, or over a knot here. So I just make one for an example, 1 or 2. So again, I want to have a 40-minute video and to show you as much as possible stuff. So I'm just making it 2 by 1 stitch. A normal one. Now if you want to make fancy stuff, try to make chevrons or swirls or whatever, or recenter stuff, recenter stitches, but I had a tutorial on these, but I don't want for today to do super complicated stuff, so I'll just do my overhand knots. So I had here overhand knot here. I'll do now with this silver, and next time I'll do it with a green. So next time I'll do it with this green, and then this blue, and turquoise. So take your time. I'll finish these, and I'll have another 20 minutes to show you stuff. So again, break stitches I'll do here, just to make it simple. Okay, so make break stitches here, and do each time over a knot for a different string. So next time after finishing this break stitch, I'll make an over knot with this green. So I'll be back in a second. You can see that I added sometime here a overhand knot, one here, and here I just did by order. So this is kind of stuff you can do as well. And I use the simplest break stitch. And of course, if it was with me, like doing a serious good job, I would have changed, not just making a break, but I'll make also other stitches, twisted chevrons, swirls, and anything that, as long as it will be something unusual and interesting. But of course I told you that they're gonna make bricks, so I'll just make it bricks to make it simple for you. And well, because I don't like this part, because it's so easy to see that this is a brick stitch, then I'll cover this up by having I have here now, you can see I have here the gray and this gray and this turquoise, and to cover this up I can just insert, say, through this loop here. So I'll do this kind of stuff. The way I'll do it is I'm just gonna do is something like this. I don't know how you call this, but just go around and around and around and around and around and around, and then once you want to finish, I'll just insert this gray string. Okay, this is not works. Doesn't work because I need to sharpen this string. Now it's gonna work. Let's see what happens. Good. Now it looks much more abstract. So do this. Always do something unusual and not just making bricks, and people can see, oh, this is a brick stitch, and then it's not interesting. So as long as you have this kind of stuff, people will be more interested to see. So I can do it also over here, but say I had enough, but well, I can say move. So of course I'll connect this to strings with over a knot. And then say I can go over here to this section here to cover this brick stitch here also. So say I'll do the same idea, say just the opposite way. So with a turquoise, say and taking the same gray, I can go for this green, say, I don't know. Whatever comes up will be cool. And then, oh, here's an idea. So you can see there's a hole here. So somehow I can get through this hole. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'll create some overhand knots. Say 5 overhand knots. I'll do it very quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, almost done. So number 2, say 2. It can go again as if I started with a butterfly stitch and then close it up. It forms a triangle. And then I create another box, another overhand knot, excuse me, and let's see if it goes up to here. Yeah, so I can now insert these 2 strings through this hole. I have another 15 minutes to show stuff. So let's see. Now there's a stitch, there's a knot here that we can do. Well, what else we can do to make it interesting? Yeah, I can just make this knot, where it's called, I don't know how it's called, but you go with these 2 strings, to the right, this is to the left, and then you kind of create a box by using the 2 strings. I'll need to make a tutorial on that one day, but it's kind of create a loop here. You create a loop here, and then you go around here. This is something that you don't need to do, just something I'll do personally without really explaining what I'm doing. And it gives like this, kind of a box stitch, but only uses 2 strings. And then I can close this with a overhand knot. Now there's a really interesting thing that I'll do here, is instead of just making overhand knots simply, I'll take silver and go around again. I'll do it again to show you. Make your overhand knot, and then go around with silver again underneath here. Stretch everything. Okay. Now we can leave this side alone. We don't need to. We can go even here, but let's leave it like this. It's good enough. And we can continue now with this side. And here you can do anything you want. Since I have only like 10 minutes, you can continue as usual, stuff you already know, or you can, well, what you can do with only 6 strings, well, you can do tons of stuff. Say we can make a box. And then you can make a box by using other strings. So that's a way to continue if you want. So instead of using the same for the box, you can create with these 4 strings, say. And then you can create a circle stitch instead of a box, and so on. So here, instead of making just a box, with these 4 strings, you can create a circle. So a circle can go like this, diagonal. So that's what you can do. Of course, I'm not just gonna do just that. We can continue with our stuff. What we can do to make it interesting for you to see. Well, I can move. Yeah, I think we can do like this. I can take this gray string, say, and I can go around using the blue string. Or you can do, say we can do it with this turquoise to be better, I think. So you go around, covering the turquoise string. Let's show you. Goes like this. Do that for a couple, 5 times, 5 or 7 times. One time I made even like 20 times, but it was for its larger size. It became an arch. But, like this. 1 second, I'll finish that. Okay, once I finish this, I can have, you see this, you have this looping here. It goes really nice. And then you just attach with gray and blue. Doing a overhand knot. One second. Okay, I got this. And then you pull with this turquoise and somehow connect, say, with two turquoise here. So I'll make a butterfly stitch here. And then, I'll make a few butterfly stitches on my own, and I'll come back in a second. I made a butterfly stitch, and I inserted through here, see, like closing this side, so to be a bit more interesting to see. And here just you can to attach it over here and to kind of close things up, you can say take this green string and attach it through the turquoise and make a cobra stitch, just a simple cobra stitch. So you can do say 2 or 3 cobra stitches for inside here. So I'll just do that. It can be a twisted cobra stitch also if you want, but just 2 or 3 stitches, because if you make a lot of cobra stitches then it will be boring. So 1 cobra stitch and another one, just to close things up. And then what's rest for us are 4 strings to finish. And to finish, I'll just make a recenter, one of recenter box stitches. And the way I'll do it is just using this green string, this green, this gray, this blue, and this green. So I'll leave these 2 turquoise to be on their own, so to speak, so I can finish them by using a regular overhand knot to close things up. So now this green, I'll take the green, gray, and the blue and make a box. And I wanted to explore a no recenter stitch that I haven't done, and it's a way for us to learn new stitches on the way. So as you can see, I have a box. This string is a little bit annoying, but anyway, you have a box, and from now on I'll just make a recenter box, one time with gray and one time with blue. So I'll give just a few examples for you to understand. So I'm making a box first with a gray. Taking this gray, go around, say, the green loop and through the center of a stitch. And next time I'll do the same thing, but with a blue string through the center, or around the green loop, and then through the center. Okay, this can take time, so don't rush, and I'll do like a few, say 10 stitches of these. So making a box, and I'll go around now with a blue string through the green loop and through the center of a stitch. I don't have a clue what's going to happen, because there are tons of recenter stitch that you can create. So let's see what happens. I'll continue doing the same idea, and next time I'll make a box and do it around with gray string again, and then again with blue string, and so on, and I'll show you what happens, what will happen. So I'll do it one last time to show you. So now it's going to be a gray string, silver string. Around the green loop through the center. So taking the silver around the green loop through the center here, and so on. You got the idea, I hope. So I'll do that and show you what happens, what I've got, and I think I'm done with this combo. So I'll be back in a second. So I've done the box part, and I can finally can connect everything to as we started, by creating a 2B1 stitch, and then I'll finish. So I'll just make a 2B1 stitch. So that's the idea usually. I like usually to finish and end the same thing. So I started with a 2B1 stitch. I'll do something very crazy, as like I did for today, and then I'll end with the final statement that I just started and began the same idea, which is kind of my theme usually, but not always, sometimes. So I have here the 2B1. I'll make one more stitch just to really finish it off. So here I'll create a swirl stitch. just not to be super boring. Again, doing things really fast. I assume that people who see these kind of tutorials are already experts who know what I'm saying. If it's a swirl stitch, this is a swirl stitch, and that's the whole idea. And I'll cut the strings on both sides, and that's it. So we'll do that really quickly. So I finished, and I'll show you just some views. I think the best way to see it is by this angle from here, not from the beginning. So if I look at it like this, it kind of makes sense, but it makes better sense that way. And let's show you the other side. This side is, I think, less interesting, but you can see it like that, I guess, or like that. Can make sense. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and of course you'll get something different than mine, I hope. So that's that. Yeah, so until next time.